Redefining radio in Windsor, Detroit. We are 99.1 FM.
Keep this frequency clear.
Coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
It's Friday, and that means it's time for MediaPlex Friday Live.
On CJAM 99.1, I'm Riley Livingston.
And I'm Zach Ballog.
And you are in for a half hour of news, views, commentary, and comedy.
But first, the news.
In our top story, as early as this week, children aged 5 to 11 could be authorized for the Pfizer vaccine in Canada. Vaccines are already authorized for children 12 to 15.
Well, for St. Clair students, there just might be money at the end of the rainbow. Gracie Lowe's reports.
It's that time again where St. Clair College students can apply for possible scholarships. Each year, the college receives donations from various places and sponsors to put towards student scholarships and support. Dylan Reed is a first-year student at St. Clair College who is eager to apply for scholarships.
The application process honestly wasn't even that long. Once you get the information, like throughout your personal information and everything like that, it's pretty easy. The things that you would want to take your time on were like the actual personal questions that, you know, scholarships, the companies look at.
To send in your application form, go to My St. Clair College and click on the scholarship button, and it will direct you to the form you can fill out with all your information. For MediaPlex News, I'm Gracie Lowe's.
Windsor has a rich history, some positive and some, well, let's just say it involves fire. Ravichan Wajimane has the story.
Today marks the 150th anniversary of the Great Windsor Fire, the day downtown Windsor was destroyed. It all began with an overheated iron right here at Willett and Pitt Street at McGregor's livery stable. Around 3 a.m. on October 12, 1871, the fire ravaged through Riverside Drive, or Sandwich Street as it was known then. Much of the city was constructed out of wood and densely spaced, feeding the fire as it swept along. The city had to call Detroit Steamer No. 4 to help put out the fire. By that time, more than 100 buildings were reduced to ash. Fortunately, however, no deaths were reported. The event prompted the city to install an underground piping system and mandate widely spaced building construction. For MediaPlex Live at 1, I am Ravichan Vijaymanna.
Remember the 71 dogs that flew in from Tulsa a couple weeks ago? Well, now is the chance to adopt your forever friend. The first set of dogs will be posted to the Windsor Humane Society website today. Send your application for the dog you would like to adopt between 12 noon and 5.
Maha Hussein is here with our weather forecast. And Maha, up till now, we have had a summer-like October. Is that coming to an end?
If you have already been out today, then you don't need me to tell you that it's raining. Today, Friday, it will be cloudy with a 60% chance of showers this morning with a high of 20. There will be a risk of a thunderstorm this afternoon with a local amount of up to 15 millimeters. Tomorrow, Saturday, it will be mainly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers and a high of 13. It will be windy at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour. Sunday, the weather will be more pleasant with a mix of cloud and sun with a high of 17. That's it for weather. Maybe save your sunny day plans for Sunday.
Welcome back, CJammers. You're listening to Friday Live on CJAM 99.1.
Redefining radio in Windsor, Detroit.
On today's show, we check in with Crime Stoppers.
We follow our dreams.
We get our motors running.
And as usual, we embrace our inner love for weirdness. So, Zach, here's a trick question. I asked this last week. What day is it?
Friday.
Yes, but no. And here is Maha Hussein to enlighten us.
Today, October 15, is Global Hand Washing Day. I sincerely hope that hand washing is already a fixed part of your routine long before the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's quite disappointing that for some people, hand washing was brand new information when COVID-19 was declared a pandemic. This is a day that highlights the importance of washing your hands with soap. It keeps us healthy and germ-free, and most importantly, virus-free. It is a rule of thumb to wash your hands before and after food preparation, after using the washroom, and after coughing and sneezing. Celebrate today by raising awareness on social media and washing your hands the right way. The CDC recommends washing for at least 20 seconds. That's the equivalent of humming the happy birthday song twice. If we really want to see the end of this pandemic, then the future is literally in our hands. Just please make sure you wash them first.
Isn't it been Global Hand Washing Day for the last year and a half?
Fair point, but certain people still need that gentle but firm reminder.
Oh, it's crime fighting time, and who better to bring in than our friends from Crime Stoppers? Here's Constable Sarah Werstein.
Crime Stoppers is a nonprofit charity that relies solely on the support of the community for the funding of our program. Our statistics prove that the program works to help keep our community safe. So far in 2021, we have assisted in 59 arrests, 237 charges, recovered 12 weapons, over 74,000 in property, and seized over 320,000 in drugs throughout Windsor and Essex County. We need you to continue to keep us informed of the crimes in our communities. If you know of a crime that has happened or one that is about to take place, remember that you can report it to Crime Stoppers online at catchcrooks.com or by calling us directly at 519-258-TIPS. You will remain anonymous, you will not have to attend court, and you may be eligible for a cash reward. Thank you, Windsor and Essex County, for doing your part. I'm Police Coordinator Sarah Werstein.
Some Windsorites are not happy with the new vaccine mandates and are making their voices known. Caleb Coulter tells us more.
Last Thursday, around 2 p.m., outside of the Devonshire Mall, dozens of people gathered to protest Canada's vaccine mandate for frontline workers. Supporters stood on the sidewalk in front of the mall, holding signs and talking with passerbys. The two main organizers, Matt Hallowick and Crystal Bernauer, said they saw huge support from the community.
We're standing up for our freedoms as protected under the Charter, and all these nurses are actually requesting fair accommodation given these rights, and they're not being given those rights at all.
The protest ended shortly after 5 p.m., with the organizers pleased with the large turnout.
Placing the community at grave risk by removing 20 to 30% of all the nurses across Canada.
From MediaPlex News, I'm Caleb Coulter.
Summer is slipping away, and even the cruisers are trying to take advantage of whatever days we have left. Ken Potashin explains.
Last Saturday evening, the Camaro Car Club of Windsor joined the Misfits Hot Rod Club for their weekly cruise night at the Walker Power Building along Riverside Drive. During the warmer months, cruise nights like this happened almost every night of the week. Monday's cruise-ins were at Bruce and Cuse in LaSalle. Tuesdays at the Riverside Sportsman's Club. On Wednesday, you could drive to Bell River for the Mustang Club's cruise night. And every Thursday night, there was a barbecue at the Moose Lodge on Tecumseh. These cruise nights were made for car people to lounge around and enjoy a lazy summer evening while sharing their stories about the classic cars and the hot rods they own. A regular guy at these cruise nights is car show filmmaker and Misfit Hot Rod Club member David Langford.
These car shows are always great. Good friends getting together in a singular passion, and that is automobiles. We love our cars, and car people are the best people.
And Dave will be happy to tell you your car story in one of his videos. All you have to do is ask. From the Misfits Car Club Cruise Night at the Walker Power Building parking lot along Riverside Drive, I'm Ken Pastushin for MediaPlex News Now.
So each week, Zach, as usual, we are going to talk about a little of this and a little of that. And we have Donna Techwell here to get us a little smarter. What do you have for us today, Donna?
Well, last week we talked about winterizing your car, so I thought this week we could talk about getting your house ready for whatever Mother Nature has coming our way. Get your furnace professionally serviced, and if you have an old thermostat, it might be time to upgrade to a new programmable one, just to save on some heating costs. It might be a good time to have your ducts cleaned as well if you haven't done it in a while. Inspect the weather stripping around your doors and windows. Make sure it's not cracked, dry, or needs to be replaced. If under your doors are drafty, you can replace the rubber stopper or buy a portable one. If you have a fireplace, make sure your chimney and vents are clean and in good condition. This can help prevent chimney fires and stop carbon monoxide from building up in your home. Make sure your fire alarms and carbon monoxide detectors are in good working condition. Get your gutters cleaned out to make sure there's no debris such as dirt, leaves, or sticks. Clogged gutters prevent rain and snow from draining properly and can cause leaks in your house. And don't forget those downspouts. Make sure they extend at least 5 feet away from your house, not toward it. Inspect your roof. A good time to do this is while you're cleaning out the gutters. If there are loose or damaged shingles, please call a roofer to help with the repairs and ask them to check the caulking around the chimney and the air vents while they're up there. Turn off your outside faucets and disconnect and drain your garden hose. This will prevent it from freezing and cracking. It's also a good time to stock up on some winter essentials as well. Things like salt, sand, and snow shovels won't go to waste. This is Donna Tuckwell, and this is your Get Smart by Knowing This and That Minute.
Around here, it's pretty well known that Zach is a weather nerd, and he is here with a report of some Windsor weather history.
Hello and welcome to This Week in Weather History, where I talk about the most memorable weather events from the past and the ones that you just want to forget. So without further ado, let's dive right on in. Oh, the famous Great Lakes winters full of teeth-chattering and wind-biting goodness. In fact, this winter was so extreme that this event caused a significant amount of the Great Lakes to be covered in ice. I am talking about the winter of 2014 polar vortex. According to MLive.com, a fast-moving and rotating wind known as the polar vortex slipped from the North Pole and tightened its grip across southern Michigan. This made the air temperature, not wind, just air, feel like minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Cold enough for you? Just to put that into perspective, minus 5 and minus 6 degrees Fahrenheit is the typical temperature for a freezer. NASA's Global Climate Change reports that ice covered just over 90% of the lakes as a result of the cold. This ice cover even had an impact on the boating industry, where a Coast Guard icebreaker had to break apart thick sheets of ice just to establish a shipping lane and escort 3 lake freighters from Duluth, Minnesota, don't you know. This brutal event also had an impact on the summer, where it was cooler than average across the region surrounding the Great Lakes. I need some warmth. That's it for me. I'm Zach, and this has been Weather History.
In an overly pessimistic world, Curless Maddie looks at the brighter side of things, where the glass is never half empty, but always half full. It's an attitude of gratitude.
Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. Enough, I get the point.
Welcome to the Attitude of Gratitude. I'm your host, Curless Maddie. Listen, I get it. I really do. There is so much wrong with the world. Negativity all around. Death, racism, sexism, terrorism, generally bad people. The fact that the sun is eventually going to eat the earth someday due to our mass consumption and pollution in the world. Mass consumption in general. Impressionable kids being overly hooked to their devices and believing everything they see online. The Paul brothers. Just the Paul brothers. It sucks. It really does. And right now you're probably sitting there thinking, wait a minute, Curtis, I thought this whole podcast was about positivity. Well, hold up, I was just getting there. I know it's the vocal minority most of the time, but all I see when I browse on Facebook now is this is bad and this is bad. Back in my day, X was better than X. The evil digital age is brainwashing our children. This is the worst generation. I hear this all the time, but you know what makes the digital age better than most? Having more of a voice than ever. I'm not going to disagree with any of the negatives, but take a look at all the good social media and modern technology has done for us. All of those issues I just mentioned have been given a voice more so than ever before. Awareness is out there. People are more alert and are educating themselves on topics they didn't know about before. And if you don't know about a certain topic, you can just simply search it up, learn more, join or read the conversations being had. Everything is easily accessible from entertainment to news, and we are more connected than we have ever been. And yes, being more connected has also kind of divided us, but again, this seems to be the vocal minority, arguing over politics, or pineapple on pizza, or insisting that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is the best of them all. Which, he's not. But those are all opinions, and opinions are good. It's what makes me different from you. I don't see an issue with some civilized debate. Unfortunately, that seems like a rarity now, but that's a topic for another day. What about the fact that it's easier to contact people now? It has never been this easy to contact my relatives in Switzerland. You can't tell me the digital age is a completely bad thing. So let's recap. People are more connected. People are talking about things that should be talked about. And everything is at our fingertips. Is the digital age really that bad? Thanks for listening to The Attitude of Gratitude. I'm your host, Curless Maddie.
Swati Sharma is here, and she is encouraging everyone that the path to true happiness is to follow your dreams.
Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast, Follow Your Dreams. This is Swati Sharma. Have you ever asked yourself, who am I really? Am I a mother, a wife, a friend, a doctor, a passenger? The truth is that you are a mother because you have a son. You are a husband because you have a wife, a teacher because you teach students at school, a passenger because you are on a plane. So all your identities, everything you believe yourself to be, are all dependent on something else. So then, who are you? A mother, a wife, or a passenger? Without knowing the answer of the question, who am I? You keep creating your new identities, which takes you far away from your inner self. Everything you are suffering in life is because of not knowing who you really are. Until you realize who you really are, you believe yourself to be the name that has been given to you. What is your crazy dream or a crazy goal? The dream that keeps you up at night is the dream you should chase. You must be having a plan, no? Because dream without a plan is a wish, said Catherine Peterson. You know, I always wanted to be a dancer and a choreographer since I was a child. It was the only thing in my life that I cared about. Every year, I participated in state competitions with my group. While working on getting first position for the states, me and my group got selected in the global dance competition, and that was one of my dreams come true. But that was the time when I entered the college to finish bachelor's in journalism and mass communication, back then in India. And my parents wanted me to pursue studies instead my dream. But I did not give up. I continued participating in my college annual festivals while studying altogether. Even if I get a chance today, I never leave the opportunity of presenting myself as a dancer and showing off my skills. So what I want to say is, giving up is a birth of regret. Nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Settling for a life which is not equal to the one you are capable of living is not worth it. No time is a bad time. Not even tomorrow, not today, or any other time. Now is the time to strengthen your mind. People coming out of debts, depression, attacks, criticism, and still they don't give up on their dreams. So no matter what the situation is, say it out loud with me. I cannot give up, I don't want to give up, and I won't give up. This is the time. Find a way to use your dream to help other people. Stop listening and start doing. Afwa, adios, namaste, goodbye. Until next episode with your host Swati Sharma.
Okay, Zach, it's time to sharpen thy swords and prepare for adventure. Let's step into the world of role-playing games with Ryan Piercy.
Welcome back to my dungeon where I spin tales of dragons and demons to the delight and dismay of my friends and loved ones. I'm Ryan Percy, your game master for the evening. I've been playing role-playing games across kitchen tables and conventions since I can remember. Now, one individual has asked me to help explain some basics for beginners because, well, we all start somewhere. This individual asked me if a number of games he played as a child were in fact role-playing games, things such as Risk and Life. We talked back and forth, but it did get me thinking that the best place to start is what exactly a role-playing game is and how you can start playing. There are many games, but generally the aspects that make something a role-playing game are there's a referee of some kind, usually called a game master, and a number of players gathered together. Some form of mechanic is used to determine success or failure, and the players usually take on the roles of characters they are either presented to play or create themselves. These characters then go on an adventure together with the game master facilitating it through narration and game mechanics. In general, a role-playing game is playing pretend with your friends, but now we actually have rules that say if your friend really did shoot you or not. There are many examples that go against the standard grain. Some RPGs are made with no GM in mind at all, and rules refereeing is shared between players. Sometimes they're made without the need for dice or cards. RPGs can also be made with only one player and one GM in mind. Role-playing games are an ocean that is both wide and deep. There's a game for every single person or group out there. You just need to find it. But where do you start? One of the best places to look is as simple as Googling 3 letters, LGS, your local game store. For example, in Windsor, Ontario, there are 2 main game stores, Brimstone Games and the CG Realm. The best part about taking the game store route is not only will you be able to find everything you need to play, but also you'll likely be able to find people who want to play those games as well. Usually, games happen throughout the week that are open to anyone to join if you want to have a taste. The most popular RPG in the world, Dungeons & Dragons, has a system known as Adventures League that anyone can sit down and play at. Talk to the staff running your local game shop and see when they have games running, or even if anyone is looking for a GM or a player, and you should be able to hop right in. But maybe joining a group of strangers to become a wizard for the evening doesn't sound appealing, and you'd rather sit down with some friends to game. Well, that's just as easy. While I am personally biased towards supporting local game stores, you can easily order the books for any game from sites like Amazon or distributors like Indie Press Revolution. But be careful of shipping charges. Nothing stings more than finding out your $40 book has $30 of import fees. Your last option is going fully digital, diving into cyberspace. Get PDFs or EPUB versions of the books you want. And most physical copies you order now come with a PDF version already attached. You don't even need to sit down face-to-face then with friends or strangers when virtual tabletop programs like Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds caters to your needs with digital maps and tokens. But however you decide to go forward with your game, know that it's about having fun as a group, so don't be a dick. Come back again, where I'll be exploring another topic in this wide, wacky world of role-playing games. Once again, I'm Ryan Percy, your game master, and you've been listening to RP's RPGs.
Get your motor running, head out on the highway, looking for adventure in whatever comes our way. Grocery getters and gearheads alike, this is the Auto News for you. Discover the latest and greatest vehicles, slow and fast. Here's Caleb Coulter with Wrench Press.
Welcome all commuters, gearheads, and grocery getters to the first ever episode of Wrench Press. Here, we dive into all things cars. Things aren't looking too well for Hyundai. In Canada, they've recalled over 150,000 cars due to engine fire risks. The culprit? Defective rod bearings. If your engine starts knocking, get it checked out. Several major auto companies are releasing all new vehicles for the 2022 year, including the redesigned Honda Civic, Hummer EV, and even the new Jeep Grand Wagoneer. It's a full-size SUV that shares a platform with the Dodge Durango and Jeep Grand Cherokee. Standard features will include a 6.4-liter V8 and segment-topping passenger legroom. You can get all that for the hefty price of just over $100,000. The new Civic looks promising, but what enthusiasts are really looking forward to is the Civic Type R and its little brother, the Civic Si. These sporty compact cars are already expected to perform for the sake of JDM lovers everywhere. The base model starts at just over $24,000, but it's likely the performance models will follow a similar pricing layout to what we've seen in the past. That's all I have for you today. Until next time, this has been Wrench Press with Caleb Coulter.
Oh no, Tristan's here, and now there goes another good night's sleep. Let's see what terror she has for us today.
Welcome to Impulse, the show with no description because the topics are whatever comes to mind. I'm Tristan Zuderveen. When you're born into royalty, the work is never done, and the infamous Queen of Scots seems to have taken it one step further. Mary Stuart was beheaded on February 8, 1587. While she isn't the international phenomenon Bloody Mary, this ghost has created quite the epilogue across Europe.
Our journey begins on the grounds of Stirling Castle, where a woman in pink, or the Pink Lady, has been spotted wandering the halls and is believed to be the Queen herself. From there, our sightings continue in Borthwick Castle, where Mary has been sighted dressed as a page boy. In her life, she had escaped this very castle disguised as a man. Loch Leven Castle, a location where the Queen of Scots was held prisoner, has reported its share of sightings as well. Hermitage Castle has also reported sightings of her ghost in the form of a white lady. Craignathon Castle is the home of a headless apparition identified as Mary, while Bolton Castle has her wearing a black velvet dress near Napa Hall. In Sheffield, Yorkshire, the Earl of Shrewsbury's Manor Lodge was haunted by the Queen in the 1930s near the Turret House. Mary was executed on the grounds of Fotheringhay Castle in Northamptonshire. When the castle was demolished, materials from the original structure were used in the construction of the Talbot Hotel in Oundle. As a result, she appears frequently near the staircase. One life, one soul, infinite afterlives. In some stories, the epilogue is the best part. Tune in next week for a new nightmare in the 15th hour.
Wacky, wonderful, and oh so weird. Here's Zach with his offbeat look at what doesn't always make the front pages. Zach?
Hey everybody, it is Friday, which means it's time to take a look at the weirdest news found on the internet. That's right, it's time for Weird News. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Archaeologists in Jerusalem recently made a rare discovery, a 2,700-year-old private toilet. According to livescience.com, the toilet is carved out of limestone with a comfy seat and a hole in the middle. It was found inside a rectangular cabin that would have served as an ancient bathroom. Must have been nice during the times when you didn't have to worry about leaving the toilet seat up. If you didn't think that was weird enough, brace yourselves because it's time for...
Florida man, does whatever a Florida man can. Look out, here comes the Florida man.
News Channel 8 reports that authorities responded to a fire on a Brevard County roadway. Soon, they found Scott Taylor holding a sword and chugging Captain Morgan spiced rum in front of them. But wait, it doesn't end there. Police say while the man was in a holding cell, he intentionally broke a fire sprinkler head, causing water to flood the cell and booking room. Oh, Florida, you never disappoint. Well, that's the weirdness for this week. Oh, and it's time for This Week in Puns. To the guy who invented zero, thanks for nothing. I'm Zach Ballog, and you cannot make this stuff up.
Thank you, Zach, and thank you for tuning in.
You've been listening to MediaPlex Friday Live.
On CJAM 99.1, redefining radio in Windsor, Detroit.
On today's show, we have had contributions from
Gracie Lowe's,
Ravashan Wigamane,
Maha Hussein,
Caleb Coulter,
Ken Potishin,
Donna Tuckwell,
Kurlis Mahdi,
Swati Sharma,
Ryan Percy,
Tristan Zuderveen,
Alexa Fraser,
and Isabella Spadafora.
I'm Riley Livingston, and he's Zach Ballog. Woo! See you next week.
That was easy.